In this video, let's look at different ways to export data from an Excel workbook into Power Query. To do any kind of transformation on this data through Power Query, we should convert this data first into the table format. To see whether this data is in table format or not, just click anywhere on the data, and if you see a table design tab appears on your main tab, then this data is in the table format. So at present, there is no table design tab appearing over here. Just for the sake of demonstration, I have created one sample table, which is already created into a table format, which I will show you how to create it in a second. So just click anywhere on the data and you must see a table design tab appears over here. So there are several ways to create a table. The first is to go to the data tab and from table and ranges. So if this data is not into table format, it will first convert this into a table. This is your data range. And if your table has headers, you can take this and press OK. So first your data is converted into a table and then it is loaded into a Power Query. To show you other ways how to create a table, I'll just close it, press discard. So before loading the data into Power Query, it has converted this data into a table. Press Ctrl Z so that now the data is converted to range. Now another way to convert this data into a table is to press Ctrl T and the same screen will appear. So this is your range of data, press OK and your data is converted into a table. Also, as many times I will try to create a table, it will increment a different table name over here. To show you another way how to create it, press Ctrl Z to come out of the table format, go to Insert and Table. So you will find the same screen over here. So getting the data into Power Query, the first option was the quickest one. So go to Data tab and from Table and Ranges and press OK. The first thing which I do is to give the query a proper name. So I'll give table customers, enter. And the second thing which I do is to check whether we have a date column. So notice that we have two date columns and that is not in proper date format. This usually happens when regional settings of your data and regional settings of your PC are not in sync. In order to fix this, you can select both the columns, right click, go to change type and select using locale. So we are working with a date data type. So go to date and my regional setting is set to English India, which is a date, month and year format. And this data is in month, day and year format. So I'll just select English United States or English United Kingdom. These countries have month, day and year format. So I'll select any one of this and press OK. Both the tables are now into proper format. So whatever you do, your steps are recorded over here. And as you can see, the one change type step is already created by Excel, which is based on column profiling of 1000 rows over here. So the third thing which I do is to check whether all the data types are properly selected by the Power Query. So just have a look on the data types of all the columns. In order to capitalize the first name of the customer, we can go to the Format tab and click Capitalize each word. But a similar option is also available in the Transform column. So why this is present in both Transform and Add column? If you select the Transform tab and click Capitalize each word, it will do all the formatting in the original column itself. Let me just delete this step and show you what will happen if you select the Add column, format and capitalize each word. It will create an additional column and do the formatting over here without touching the original column. So the first option was better one for this example. Also, if you have two columns, you can select that, go to transform, to formatting and capitalize each word. But this option will not be available in add columns because you have selected two columns. So go to transform, format and capitalize each word. The first letter for both the columns are now capitalized. If I want to separate this customer postal code into three separate set of columns, I can do that by selecting transform, split columns and by delimiter. So these are the predefined delimiters in Power Query, which is colon, comma, equal sign, semicolon, space and tab. Also, you have the ability to give your custom delimiter. So in our example, we have a custom delimiter over here because there is a space as well in between. So I'll select custom and then space dash space. Also, we have an option to select the leftmost delimiter. So it will just convert the first delimiter and leave the second one. rightmost delimiter. So it will transform the rightmost delimiter and leave the left one. Also, we have an option of each occurrence of the delimiter. So for our example, this is the best one. So I'll press OK. And here you can see it has created three columns and named it postal code 1, 2, and 3. So Power Query has given the best possible names and selected a data type as well. When I'm done with the transformations, I'll go to Home tab to load the query. So by default, the option is close and load. So if you click this close and load, upload this data to a table. But if you want to load other than a table, you can select close and load to, and it will give you some options like table, pivot table report, pivot chart, and only create connection. Also, you have the ability to select the existing worksheet or new worksheet. So I want to load this data into a table. So I'll go with the default settings and press OK. So as you see, our transform data is loaded into an Excel table. The sheet name will be same as your query name. However, as you see, the table name is also same, but the Excel has added a table in front of our table name. Also, you see one more tab appears over here, which is a query tab. And there are few options over here, which you can also get by right clicking on your query, and the same options are available on your query tab. So we have multiple places to get to a same option. So if you don't like this table design, you can change it by going to table design and select any of the table design you like. So if you select this one, and if you want to make this as a default table design, you can just right click and click set as default. Now, whenever you do any changes in your loaded report, like for example, if I have reduced this column and when I refresh this, it will again take the original position which it was loaded. So if you don't want this to get formatted, you can go to table design, properties, and you can just untick this adjust column width and press OK. So now if you do any formatting over here and press refresh, it will refresh your data but not the columns. Also, you can refresh it from here by pressing this refresh button, or you can go to data tab and you have the option of refresh as well. So again, different places for the same option. Now you must have noticed that the data tab says from table slash range. So what is a range? So open this range underscore example sheet, and if I click over here and select from table slash range, it will first try to convert this into a table, which is not what we want. We want to upload the data from the range. So just hover over this table slash range, and it says create a new query from selected table slash name range. So the name range is if you give this data by just clicking anywhere on the data and pressing Control A, the data will get selected. If you give this data a name by selecting this option over here and give it a name, for example, sample range, and press enter. Now this is called a name range. So now if you want to load this data, it will directly upload the data and it will give the name range name to this query. Let me just discard it. Also, if you are anywhere in the workbook and you want to go back to the name range, you can just click this and here you can see your name range name and this is your table name. So you can just click your name range and you will directly go to that sheet. Also, you can manage this name range from formula bar and go to name manage. So here you can see all your table and ranges here. So if you want to delete the name range, you can just do it by here. Or if you want to edit it, you can do this from here. So table and range are two different ways to load the data into Power Query from Excel workbook. So this was it from this video. I hope you have learned something and I will see you in the next video.